and whenever you are ready.
Sure. Well, I guess I'll just introduce myself first. My name is Christina, as you guys know. I have been a coach for about a year and a half. I think I started like last May, end of May, June. I live in upstate New York. I work full-time as a physical therapist, and I have 3 kiddos. My oldest is 6, and I have twins that are 3. So I'm definitely doing this business as something that I want to like push so I can get away from my full-time job, and have a little more time with them. And my background is in fitness. Like I said, I am a physical therapist, but I love helping people, and I love the business model because I always wanted to be like own a business that I had control over, but I have no business background at all. So I just found that this business has been amazing because, working in your little mom pockets of the day, I can get done what I need to get done and really kind of progress forward and on a very, very, very part-time, basis, which is awesome. So that being said, I'm going to try and share my screen. I had trouble with this the other night, so let me know if you can see.
Okay.
This. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yep. So you see my slide there?
Yep.
Okay. So I did this call a little while ago for one of our greater teams, and it's just basically how I manage myself to success, or how I'm just sharing with you what I do. Because for me, who, like I said, worked in healthcare, I've always worked for somebody else. This was new, it's great to be in control, but that means you got to do something and tell yourself what to do and when, right? Like nobody's going to put that on you. So you have to kind of self-direct, if you want to be successful, because of course, like this is a job that we could do or we could not do on any given day. We could send invites or we could not. So to me, I definitely feel like I needed a system to manage myself to success, because the more routine I am, the better. I don't want to leave things to like, what am I going to do today for my business? What am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do next week? So I really like to have a system in place, and then I can just repeat it every month, and it makes it so much easier because it's kind of like having a meal plan, right? Like if you have your meal mapped out and there's no guesswork and you know what you're having for dinner on Thursday, you're not sitting there like trying to guess. So what I'm going to talk about tonight is like how I use my systems, and then how I leverage free groups, and then to help turn people over into, hopeful challengers. Okay. So where to start? So I always say I equate so much of what we do in business as what we do for our challengers. So I think like we need to coach ourselves to success just like we coach our challengers. And that all starts with a plan, right? And that's why our plans, our fitness and nutrition plans, are so effective, because people have a plan. You're not deriving anything from scratch, like things are given to you. We all heard that saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So to me, that starts with my calendar and organizing my calendar. I decide what date I'm starting my challenge group every month. And that's like the first thing that I put on my calendar. I know when I'm hosting or my team is hosting what is coaching events. So I put those on my calendar. And that way I can then backtrack from those dates and plan out my posts. So obviously if we're doing a what is coaching on Thursday, I like to do coaching invite posts Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because I want to be inviting people to that. If I am hosting my challenge group starting on Monday or whatever, I continually post about challenge groups, but sprinkling it in. But when I'm going to really do, challenge group invites, it is because I want people to get their Shakeology on time, maybe a week or so before that. Same thing with my free groups. I highly, highly, highly stress planning a free group every month, and we'll get into why. But then I want to know when I'm going to advertise for my free group. And so that way, it also just helps you with your posting, because how many of you sit there and struggle with like, what am I going to post today? I need to come up with 3 to 5 things. I want to have content. I want to have value. So this is going to really help and help kind of push your business in the direction you want to go to, because you'll always be posting to invite towards something, whatever it is you have going on that week. So the next thing is to like trust the process, right? So we tell our challengers that all the time. If they're questioning whether they should do this or do that, we just say, trust the process. And the same goes with coaching. We have the BAT, we have the vital behaviors, we have all those things that we're supposed to be doing, and it's laid out for us, and successful coach after successful coach after successful coach will tell you that they follow them, right? So again, take the guesswork out. if you need, I mean, if you're a pen and paper person, print out your BAT. I use Teamsy. I don't know if any of you guys use that, but it helps me because you can kind of put in your goals in terms of your income and the rate you want to grow your business, and it's going to suggest how many people you should be inviting per day, how many conversations you're having just in general with people, and then you can set your follow-ups and that sort of thing. So, I think that even, at the diamond level and above, if you lose track of your BAT, your business is going to suffer. So, when you make things routine, I always find that they take less thought and energy, right? So again, you have your calendar set up, and I'll see if let me just pull out my planner. And this might be kind of hard to see, but so like I'll lay out like when I'm starting my challenge group and when I have my free group, and then where I want to post my what is coaching events. So if you have all that laid out, like, so it's open up for you, then you could just look like what I have to do today. And it becomes very systematic, which I just find helpful in sticking with my plan. And so again, if you're posting your 3 times a day and being very systematic about that, I feel like you can pull your invites from the people that are liking and commenting and engaging on your posts. So it also takes the guesswork out of, who do I reach out to today? And it becomes more organic because those are people that are already engaging on your page. You're not just like cold inviting, which there's a time and a place for that, but I really tend to not cold invite. I always am like working on relationships and establishing those with people. And I want to establish them with the people who are following me, who are engaging with me, because chances are they're attracted to me for some reason. So I want to invest in them. Let me just see where I am. Yeah. So again, doing those 3 to 5 posts a day is just a must, because then I feel like it derives your conversations and it feels much more natural than just reaching out blanketly to people. Consistency is key. So I say this all the time to my team. You don't have to do anything extreme, just be extremely consistent. So if you are doing these activities every day, your BAT, your 3 to 5 invites, your 5 to 10 conversations, your follow-ups from, who you have talked to before, which requires, again, some tracking. It will come back to you. If you're new, this is not a business of instant gratification, right? So it's not like people, you have one conversation and they sign up the next day. That's not the case. When you have these conversations day after day after day, if you have 5 conversations per day, 35 per week, you're looking at over 100 and something per month. That's going to come back to you. And usually it's the next month or the next month. But if you're doing that every day, think about the compound effect. And I don't know if any of you guys have read that book, but that book was like life-changing and business-changing for me. It's Darren Hardy. It's the compound effect. And it just talks about how, because I know it can be overwhelming when you feel like you have to do all of these invites, but you don't. You just have to do 3 a day every day, and make it a must, right? So, whether you're, like I said, checking off on your BAT or your whatever it is, that's what you want to do. Because the other key is that you don't want to be on again, off again in your business, because people will lose trust in you. So from the minute you announce your business on your Facebook page, you should be treating it like a business, which means, you're putting yourself out there, you're branding yourself, you're getting to know people, and you are showing up day in and day out regardless. Now, it doesn't mean like you have to act all happy-go-lucky and yay, beach body and working out if you're not feeling it like it that day. But share that, because people are going to relate to that. That is human life. Those are the people we're looking to work with, the people that don't necessarily have the motivation to do it every day. But if you kind of wax and you wane, when people are looking for somebody to come to, they're not going to go directly to you. So I think about that, like when I talk about kind of your brand, I always think about your brand reliability and dependability. And if you don't show up, people are going to question that. I think about like if I'm thinking about buying a car, the first things that come to mind are like Toyota and Honda and Ford, because their commercials are all the time, all over the place. Like I don't go thinking about some, small name brand that I don't ever really hear of, because they're not, I don't think maybe they're not as dependable, or they're just not on the top of my head because they're not consistently showing up. And if you think about your news feed, a lot of stuff goes to the newsfeed that people don't pick up on, right? So it's all timing and all that sort of stuff. So don't be afraid to be posting 3 or 5 times a day, as long as you're providing quality content and you're providing value to people. And, having that consistency and showing up even when you don't feel like it, that all comes back to your why. And if you really haven't come to your why, that's a first thing I think you need to do, because it's going to keep you engage during the ebbs and flows of this business, because not all every day is hunky-dory, right? Like sometimes you're putting messages out there and you're getting response and you feel great and you're on a roll, and then you hit weeks where you're putting messages out there and you're getting crickets and crickets and crickets, and the people that said they wanted to sign up and they don't. And it can get you down, right? And it can kind of sometimes like have you question, what am I doing? Is this worth my time investing? Should I even be a coach? So I feel like you have to know your why, and your why is not income. Your why is not, like just the money or, to spend on this or to pay the bills. That's like a what, if you ask me. Your why is really like, how does that make you feel when you have the money to pay your bills and maybe stress a little bit less, or what kind of effect does that have on your life? And the other thing is to have like a big, hairy, audacious goal. So it's okay to have like small goals, incremental goals, but if you don't have the big goal, again, it's that vision. It's like you need to have the vision to know that your efforts are worth you putting them in, because that's your vision at the end. So I say start with the big vision and then break it down into those small incremental steps and goals that you can do on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, on a daily basis to help you reach your goals. And then you can always look at your actions and just say, are they aligning with my goals? Is what I did today in my business going to help me get to where I want to be, down the road, whatever that goal is? Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my strategy every month. Now, some people run 30-day challenge groups with like a week of preseason and 21 days. I did that initially, but I'm just going to tell you kind of what I fell into now. I like to do a 21-day challenge group with a 3-day preseason. So if I'm starting my challenge group on a Monday, I will start preseason on Friday. So essentially, I used to do a 7-day preseason. I would do a post a day. I pretty much do the same thing in the 3-day weekend. I just do an AM and a PM post. But I was finding personally that I felt like the energy fizzled in my group by the end of the preseason week. And then we got to day one and people were already like less checking in and, losing the excitement a little bit. So I like that 3-day preseason. I like that it's right on the weekend, so we can just dive into, your grocery shopping, the meal plan. Let's talk about your why and your goals. And people are psyched when Monday comes and they're ready to go. So what I do is I do my 3-day preseason. I have that 21-day group, and then I have a week off. And I'm going to tell you how that plans into what I do with my free groups too. And then during that week off, what I do now with my challenge groups is I just run it continuously. I used to start a new group every month. So people wanted to continue, I put them in, I not. And then I had so many groups going and I was just pretty much converting everybody. So I just run my group in continuity. So I never changed the group. I just changed the cover photo and I changed the title of what my challenge group is. So people stay in that group. And, again, initially I made, drinking Shakeology a requirement and staying on auto ship a requirement. And now and again, you can choose whatever you want to do with your business. I definitely think it's important and I think you have to show the value, but there's some people that have come around after the fact. So my group is always continually running and I'm always posting at least once a week about Shakeology and about the value and let's share recipes. So some people who might not be drinking it are picking up on that and then have come to me and say, okay, I think I'm going to give it a try. So that's just a strategy that I take with my challenge groups, and it saves me from having to move one group to the next and have a bunch of groups going. And I like having that off week because people will still post their selfies. It gives them a chance to keep themselves accountable. I actually just instituted having accountability partners within my group and encouraging my challengers to pair up, which has been great because they're helping each other. And my success partner and I were just talking yesterday, and one thing she does, which I just want to pass along because I'm going to start to do, is she has a guest coach for that week or the days off. So she invites somebody who will do the guest coach. And I think it's a great way to breed new coaches. Have them create some posts for the week, or even if you have a couple people that will do a day or two and then switch. I think it's a really great way to engage the group and then maybe have some potential coaches. As far as my free group goes, when I did these slides, I'll tell you about how I used to advertise for it, and then I'll tell you what I do now because it has changed. Just like everything else in your business, you kind of see what works and then you can go somewhere else. So I run my 7-day free group. Usually it's a 5-day. The last week of my challenge group. So it coincides with the last week of my challenge group because then I have that week off to focus on conversations from the people in my free group and try to convert them into my next challenge group that will start the following week. So we have that week in between. They're coming off the free group really excited. I have the next week where I can try to convert them into challengers, and they can order their challenge pack and then be able to start the following Monday and have their containers and have their Shakeology. So timing wise, it is a lot to do double group, but I think it's valuable timing because I don't want to do my free group like the same week as my first week in my challenge group. And then I have someone wanting to continue and they're jumping in mid, which is fine. I never stop adding people, but then it can seem a little overwhelming, I think, when everyone else is already in the flow. So that's just how I personally like to time it. So when I first started doing the free groups, I had my personal page and I had my like page. And what I would do is I would use my like page to create an event for my free group. So I would, call it, Cardio and Core with Christina, McClurken, Fitness and Nutrition. And this was the event. So I would write my description. That's going to be 7 days of like 10-minute circuits, really quick exercises, whatever we're going to do. Lots of fun, accountability, and prizes. I always do prizes in my free group. And then what I would do when I shared that event, I would create kind of requirements for people to join. And what those requirements were that they had to share my post, like my post, share that post, and tag 3 of their friends. So that then I would go reach out to each of those 3 people that they tagged. And there are 3 new contacts for me and 3 new people to potentially add to that free group that would be completely cold market. Like I don't know them otherwise. Let me just see if this is on the next slide or not. Yeah, okay. So yes, I would create an event, and then you can boost the event post, which, now that I'm going through that social team builder training, they're saying you don't have to boost posts. But like for me, when I was doing it as an event, it worked because it got more eyes on it. And I was literally only doing it for a short period of time, a few days. It wasn't costing a lot. And I wrote tag 5 friends here. You can do, however many you want. And I do not ever just blanketly add those 5 people to the group because how much do you guys hate that, right? Like someone added you to this group, someone added you to this group. I didn't want to be part of that group. I don't need any more leggings, although I always need leggings. But, so I always make sure that what I would do is I would then friend request those people that they're friend tagged, and I would send them a message. If they already accepted my friend request before I did, I would say, hey, thanks so much for accepting my friend request. I saw that, Michelle tagged you in my post. I'm running this free group where we're going to do some exercise and I'll throw in some recipes and other things. Would you like to join us? Or is that something you're interested in? So I would always have a personal conversation with them, send them a friend request, and then let it be up to them whether they want to join or not. Because if they don't want to join, that's okay. I don't take it personal and I wouldn't want them in the group. So if someone added them, it's just annoying. But this opens the door for me to start a conversation. And if they say yes or if they say no, it opens up some sort of conversation about something. And then they're on my friends list. So then I'm going to start coming up in their newsfeed. They're going to start seeing what I'm doing. And there's a potential for down the road, even if they didn't want to, join that free group, they could always join again. And you're expanding your network. 25, 30, 40, 50, 60 contacts at a time, you're expanding your network. So think about that on your BAT. You're supposed to add 3 a day. When I come to these free groups, I'm adding maybe 10, 15, 20 a day. So you're just, again, building that network. What I used to do in that event page is go live throughout up until the day that the group starts. I would go live and talk about, let them hear my excitement and be like, hey guys, I am so excited for this free group. Let me tell you what I have planned. I put together some workout circuits, and you can do free groups on whatever you want. I am definitely more of a fitness person, so my heart is in that. What I do for my content is I frequently will just go on Pinterest, search some, like if I want to do an cardio and core or booty, buns and guns, like I'll just search arm exercises, legs. I tend to do them with no equipment because I don't want people to have that to join. And then I'll put together little workout circuits. I use PickMonkey. I pick what workouts I'm going to do. And then my personal thing is like, when we get to the groups, like I video the exercises, which again, not everyone has to do, but I find it just engages people a lot. It's great. So whatever your content is going to be, I would go live in that event and share my excitement for it. And then when the day starts of my free group, I create the actual group. So I don't run the group through an event. You don't want to do that. You would start a group. So I start it as my whatever free group for the month. And again, now I just run it in continuity. So the next free group, if you're in my free group, you're always going to be in my free group. So next month, it's going to come up again, and you're going to start to see my notifications and my posts in that free group. That's kind of how I did it when I first started, and I first started my like page. I think now Facebook allows you to run events from your personal page, so you don't have to have a like page. I don't think it allows you to boost posts from your personal, but you don't have to. Once I had a big enough like following of people and social network that had a lot of cold market people, now I just post an image to my personal page with like, okay, this is my free group, you know, and then in the body of my post, I'm going to say the same thing. Hey guys, it's that time of month again. You know, this time we're doing X, Y, and Z. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll share some tips, you know, here's what to do to join. Like this post, share it to your page, tag 3 friends, and you're in, you know, and plain and simple. So again, you just get all those tags underneath. You get to reach out to all those people, add them as friends, and just really build your network. As far as what the free group is, again, it can be totally up to you, but just provide content. I urge you to like pour as much energy as you do into your challenge groups into these free groups, because again, keeping in mind that the whole idea is to get these people into your challenge group, and eventually, it doesn't have to be the next challenge group, but you know, you have to be of that mentality that you just want to provide free value, because people don't want to feel like they're being sold to, or don't want to feel like they're only in that you're only investing in them for them to buy something. I have people that are not in my challenge groups at all, but they're just continually in my free groups. Great. Maybe down the road they will be. Maybe if not, if a friend of theirs is interested, they say, hey, I got this chick that I think does this coaching thing, you know? So just really provide without feeling like you need anything in return, because people can feel that. So what I do my workout circuits. I post them first thing in the morning. I do a little video demo, which, you know, a lot of coaches don't do. I did it my first group, and then I tried not to in my second to kind of get away with it. Everyone's like, where's the video? I'm like, crap. So again, it's totally up to you what you like to do. But I find people really connect because it's the same as this. They feel like they hear your mannerisms, your voice, they get excitement, they get to know you. And if you pull from Pinterest, or we're all doing our own programs, take a few moves from your programs. I've done that too. Like when I was doing Max 30, ton of good stuff because there's no equipment. For the force, like same kind of thing. So just piece together whatever you want to do. So I usually do my fitness circuit in the morning, and in the afternoon, I'm going to throw in a tip like about your water intake or a food recipe or something. And I'll just I might sprinkle in this food recipe is, 1 red, 2 blue, whatever. So people, who don't know about the containers or whatever, might be interested, or don't do that at all. Whatever it is, just whatever content you might provide, just like a development tip, whatever personal development you're doing at the time, do your fitness in the morning, and in the afternoon, provide some sort of knowledge or something motivational from your PD. And again, so sprinkling in Beachbody subtly, whether it be, the container counts, or what I do too for my prizes, I have a point system attached to my free group. So I have my image from PicMonkey with my workout circuit. And what I have everybody do, and this is just like a pinned post at the top of my free group, I'll say, post below when you're done with the workout, 2 points. Post a selfie, 5 points. Post a selfie post to your own personal page and tag me in it, 10 points. So this is every day for those 5 days. So whoever has the most points at the end of the week is going to get a prize. And then obviously if they're tagging you on your personal page and anyone likes it or comments on it, there are more people that you go friend request to add to your network. And maybe they end up wanting to join in, or maybe they just join the next one, or maybe they just become a new contact in your social circle. But having it out there, people are going to then see you and see what this person is doing. And, it just, again, creates that kind of spreading of your network. And for the prizes, I tend to do, like, sometimes I'll order a bunch of those like bonus DVDs that we have. So like the Fix Extreme Challenge that has, again, like a no equipment. There's the MMA mashup. There's like a PiYo hardcore on the floor. So I would get some of those like bonus DVDs, or a sample of Energize maybe. And then so for the winner, I always try to give them something Beachbody related, because if they're cold market people, again, if you give them a CD that is something from our free group, they might, put that DVD in, do the workout and fall in love with it, and then just ask you for more, So your prizes don't have to be, you could do a yoga mat, you could do a coffee mug, whatever you want, a water bottle. I've done that, but I tend to try and keep it, like, go on the sales site and the free shipping site, like see what we have for our, Beachbody water bottles or whatever. Just something to, again, tie it back in to the direction that you would like to go. So when we talk about converting people to challengers, I always do this on, you don't want to, at the end of your free group, just do a blanket invite post, right? Because if you're talking to everybody, it generally feels like you're talking to nobody. Like, or if you're on the other side of the group, right? If someone just puts up a post, you're like, well, whatever, right? Maybe you see it, maybe you don't. But I send everybody a personal message at the end, just saying, thank you so much for being a part of my group. And I don't just say, I hope you enjoyed it, leave it at that, because that's not going to open the door for conversation. Be like, it was so great to have you as part of the group. Did you enjoy it? Or what did you think? Something very, very plain and simple. If there's somebody who stood out as really actively participating, give them a genuine compliment. Be like, it was so much fun having you in there. I just love seeing your crazy hair selfies. Or I find it very motivating that you were doing this. Or maybe they showed a picture of, some people will do it with their kids or have their dog by them or whatever it is. Give them a genuine compliment. So that's individual to them, so that they know it's really, again, a personal. You're looking at them one-on-one. Also, be active on their personal page. So if this is someone that you think has the potential to benefit from your challenge group and who maybe want to do that, go to their personal page, start liking their stuff. Because again, you're going to come up more in their newsfeed, see more about their life. So when you're having that conversation with them, talk about things other than the group and exercise and the fitness or that sort of thing. And then if they do get back to you and say, oh my God, I totally loved the group. I never thought I had time to squeeze in exercise, but this was a quick 10 minutes or whatever. Ask them about their goals. Be like, that's great. Be like, what are your fitness goals? Or what is it that you're working towards? Or why did you find that 10 minutes helpful? And then when you have those conversations going, then you can take it into that personal invite of, if you enjoyed this group, I think you'd really love my challenge groups. They're kind of like this, but even better. We get more into the fitness, more comprehensive into the nutrition. So you have something to build off of versus just messaging somebody and saying, thanks for being in the group. And then going, I have a challenge group starting next week. Would you like it? They don't even know what challenge group means. They might not know that it's really this and a lot more, that it's, a program that's going to last however long, that we have options for, because some people are like, I did this 10 minutes and it was great, but I cannot do a half an hour exercise day. I'd be like, great. We've got a whole 10-minute trainer section. We've got 22-minute hardcore. We've got all sorts of stuff because people don't know that. They don't know what we have available. So I always kind of have the conversation first. So, it always comes into one of my favorite sayings from Carl is that, you're not in it to close a sale, you're in it to open a relationship, right? So that is key. Do not go into these groups expecting that to turn these people into challengers right away. And I'll tell you, the less you expect it, the more it happens. Because again, it just kind of happens organically. But you have to get to know them, especially if there's someone who was like a friend of a friend of a friend that was tagged, again, you want to really invest in them more as a person. So again, always message personally, go to their pages and be active, talk about their kids, talk about their work, talk about something else that you see in their about section. I see you work at this, or you do this for work, or I see that you have 3 kids. I have 3 kids too, or whatever it is, so that the conversation is not solely about this, because again, people will feel that. As for the winner of my prize, I also obviously go and post a picture of me with my Energize sample or whatever I'm giving them, or the DVD, and I post it to their page, and me and them, and just be like, congrats, you're the winner of, the Cardio and Core Challenge, and you're going to get this super duper workout, a ton of fun, whatever. So again, that's going on their page. Another opportunity for people to like or comment who you don't know, that you want to go back to that post, friend request them. Talk to them, not about the group right away, because you just finished your group. Friend request them, go to their personal page, take a look, see what you have in common. Or if you feel like you have nothing in common by looking at their page, be like, just, hey, thanks for accepting my friend request. I saw that you and I have Jessica in common. How do you two know each other? That's a frequent thing I send out all of the time when I'm sending friend requests, and it's somebody that maybe I only have 1 or 2 people in common with. I'm like, I can't really find anything else on their page that I have too much in common with. How do you two know each other? Or if you don't have time to go to their page that day just to see. But the thing is you do want to take the time. And like I said, be patient. So I keep my free group open. I just change the content every month. And I don't delete the old content. I leave it up there so that newcomers coming in can scroll back and be like, wow, look at this. Like, this is a lot of free value stuff. Like, this girl is just giving me stuff to do. I've had people message me that, like, over the summer, I'm going on vacation. I'm going to use your circuits from, January. They're coming in handy. And if they do not convert this month, then maybe next month. And by leaving your group open and having those people in it, you have an opportunity to do the same thing again next month without having to like hope they see your post about the group and try to join again. And like I said, just remember, you're not closing a sale, but rather you're opening a relationship with these people, because we all know, chances are for all of us, it didn't happen like that you decided to join, a challenge group or get a challenge pack, right? You watch coaches for months, you see what's going on out there. You want to know that it's real and getting results and all of that sort of thing. So, you never know who are going to be your next coaches or your next challengers. So always just think of the goals of your free group as just opening relationships. Just think about this as a huge network expander instead of thinking about it as challenger conversion, even though there's a technique and that's kind of what your goal is. But I just say, if my mindset going in is just expand my network, add free value, give free value, content, make it quality, then the result, what happens is you convert challengers, but that shouldn't be your first goal. And that's really the gist of it. If you guys have any questions or comments.
That was awesome. I took 2 pages of notes.
Oh yeah, good. I'm glad you.
Lovely.
I'll just see if I can end my screen share. I think.
How long have you been keeping your groups open all the time? So like just adding new people to your free group?
I honestly, gosh, if I look back, I think I only did separate free groups maybe for the first 3 times I did them. And I think I started them maybe in like last October, November. And I think from the start of the new year, since January, I've just left everything open in continuity.
Okay, that's good to know. Because that's one thing I've been with my challenge groups, especially. I always start a new group, but I have been thinking about, because I do have so many people that convert from one to the next. It seems silly.
Yeah, and I find too, like, as with anybody in health and fitness, the people we're looking to help, they are the people that, might be gung-ho for 3 months and then they fade out. And I just had someone come back who after 6 months, my new group started and she started posting daily selfies. I'm like, where have you been? And she just ordered technology, auto ship, because she's been watching and she's been saying like, she had been part of the group. I didn't delete her just because she went off auto ship or whatever. And now she's back and she just started her auto ship again. So, but if I had not left it open, would I have known would she have come up with my follow-ups to circle back? Like, probably not. So this takes out some of that work too because we all miss follow-ups. Like, I don't care how diligent you are. I track like a dog on Teamsy, but it doesn't matter. There's people that are not, if I didn't set the follow-up, or these are old challengers that I would have just thought, well, she tried it and she didn't like it, right? That's not it. Like, life gets in the way. So when people are ready, they're still there. And again, it brings you to that brand quality. Like, they see that you're doing this month after month and day after day, and you're providing. So it's not like they would all of a sudden go to another coach that just came up posting on the page that they see now is, okay, maybe I'll try this coach, right? Because they're in your groups and they see that you're doing this regardless. And it also helps me because then I have everybody in that group. So when I am on a weekend, maybe going to shoot 10 messages off to people just to say, do my check-in. Like, how are you doing? Are you drinking your water and shakes? How are your workouts going? I just have to go to the members of that group, bang, 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 bang. I can just like copy and paste and send a whole bunch of messages. And I'll look, oh yeah, that person has not been engaged for a while, but they're in the group. So it's an easier way to reach out and then just to have that conversation again. Be like, I miss you in the group, whatever you want to say. But so it makes my job easier, and it just, people pop back up that I had totally like discounted,
Yeah, that's a good call. I really, because that's been something I've been going back and forth on, is whether or not I should leave it open or start new ones like I have been, but that's a really good point.
And then you think about that like list of groups on your side, you have that like 20 groups, and then some people that want to be in it, like, which one am I checking into now? Because like they're in a bunch of groups too. So it looks like Rachel does the same thing. Yep.
Okay. You guys can unmute yourself. I just did because there was a lot of background noise.
Do you run your challenge groups on Facebook, or do you use the challenge tracker app?
I use Facebook, and because I did the challenge tracker app, I think like last year in January and February, and I loved it because I liked that it was separate. So their notifications were separate, but at that point you couldn't do live video. And to me, like live video is huge. I love going live in my group so people can, again, hear me, see me, engage. And I know they've changed that, but I like that on Facebook too. You can create those tags. Like people are tagging me in it, like, whatever. And it gets seen more on, I love that you could track the Shakeology in the challenge groups because, I think it kept people going, but you can do that in your own free group. Like I have everyone post their sweaty selfie every day. You could have everybody post their Shakeology every day too. Like whatever you want to do to engage that, I feel like you can create that in Facebook. That's just my personal comfort. And I feel like, again, on social media, I just feel like you can weave a web on social media that you can't do in the challenge tracker app.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and I've had trouble with the video part of the challenge tracker app. Like it either won't upload or it's glitchy and people can't see it. And that, like you said, like going live is like, I just switched back to Facebook just this month and I've been considering doing the rolling challenge, like what you were just saying, because of that same reason. Like I feel like some people would jump back in because I know they have all access pass and they're kind of dabbling in it if maybe they were like seeing it again every day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe I'll try it when she starts again next month or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I also like your point about like shortening that, like preseason, I think you called it.
Yep.
Because when I have so many repeat challengers, like I feel like they're like, oh my God, we have to go through this week thing again. Like introduce myself again, like, and they say the same thing. And it's like, I can just feel that they're like, we have to do this again for the 2 new people, or whatever it is.
Right. And what I will frequently do, because I don't want the new people to get confused, like, so say I start my preseason on Friday, on Thursday, I will put a post up in my group asking my other challengers to hold their sweaty selfies for the weekend. And then on Friday, I put a welcome post with the new people. Welcome to, I call it my fit family, like welcome to our new friends. And then it's awesome because all of the old challengers are like, hey, welcome, you're going to love this. So these people already feel a part of it. Then my challengers know they're doing something beneficial by welcoming them and then holding their selfies. So they can kind of, and preseason is always a good reminder because people that have been doing this over and over, it's awesome, but we all know I stray from my containers. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's like when you do this preseason, it's like, oh yeah, that's what I should be doing. Or I encourage my old challengers to be like, when we're talking about your whys and your goals, those things change over time. Those things change as your fitness evolves. So I want them to do that. But you're right, like just having 3 days of it, much easier to engage upon than a whole week of just kind of getting lost in the importance of it.
Yeah. So then, do you check in with people like you said, some people like fall off, and do you check back in with them other than your regular messages that just kind of go to everybody?
Yeah, I mean, everything I do is individual. Like I don't just blanketly send like to my whole group or anything. Right. So I do. I mean, like I said, I use Teamsy as my like tracker for following up. But those people that are already in my group, like I don't know, does anyone else use Teamsy? No. Okay, so it's awesome because there's like little scripts that you can choose whether you're messaging a challenger or